Hello, thanks for stopping by. This is Directive 8020 for PC, released by Supermassive Games in May of 2026. I have a large game backlog, and it's rare I buy a game when it comes out, but I bought this one and I started it as soon as I could, because I'm a fan of this style and I follow Supermassive Games. This is the company that developed The Quarry, Until Dawn, and the Dark Anthology series, which I love. I think they have all their games, and they're pretty great, and I find them all interesting on one level or another. Ultimately, these games are like playing an extra long horror movie. I think this one is supposed to clock in somewhere around 8 or 9 hours, I think, but you can certainly drag it out a little longer depending on how you like to play. I would also suggest staying away from those videos online that show you the endings. I'm starting this review the day of the release, and there are already videos live revealing all the different game endings. What a selfish thing to do. A YouTube channel getting early clicks for what? Maybe a few bucks from YouTube, while they're ruining the game's sales. This is a cinematic game, and if you see the cinematic portion of it for free online, what's the incentive to pay for this game and play it? They didn't even wait a week to try to let this game sell. They just want to cash in on the release. I find that really disappointing. Anyway, this is a third-person adventure where you play the part of astronauts on a particular mission. I can't say the story is wholly original, because we've seen movies and read stories that are in a similar situation. The Earth has become uninhabitable, and we need to colonize a new planet. Okay, we've seen that sort of thing before. You are the crew on a trip to this new planet to save the human race. Now, I'm fine with the story, for sure, but I was maybe 2 minutes into this game before I really understood what was going on. I'm like, okay. And something goes awry along the way. Okay, maybe it's a little cliche at this point. You're part of this journey to get to this new planet to start the colonization, and something goes wrong. Most specifically, a new life form gets on your ship, and thus the horror story is born. Compare this to the movie Aliens or any other similar space horror. It's in the same ballpark. And it's a perfectly acceptable foundation for me. The trick here is to experience what they do with this particular story and how are they going to make it unique. It's told in a total of 8 episodes, and the timeline actually bounces back and forth between various characters and times to give you the larger picture of what's going on from a variety of different perspectives. The time jumping was a little strange at first. As I played this, I wondered what it would be like to just see all this stuff sequentially, but I think it would probably make the game feel a lot slower. I don't know if this is a better way to tell the story, but it does help control the emotion of the gameplay a bit. You're starting an episode in a stressful situation that you don't fully understand, but when you make it through that section, they kind of rewind, and you get to see the build-up that gets you to that point. Also different from other games from Supermassive, there's no narrator to coax you along. In those other games that I've played, they often insert a person to explain part of the experience to you directly, and that's you, not the characters in the story. How are you going to help the characters that are involved? Instead, we're just in control of the different people at different times. They give us all the horror trappings that you'd hope for. There's darkness, there are scared characters, jump scares, malfunctioning equipment, and body horror. You get pieces of all of these at one point or another, all around a cast of characters that are modeled after real-life actors. I recognized a few of them. Supermassive does this with their other stories in their anthology series, and I think the models offer some sort of, well, I see facial recognition, and I think it makes them feel more human. When they're more human, it makes them feel certainly more real, and maybe you feel more emotion for their circumstances as a result. Or that could just be me, I don't know. The gameplay is you in control of particular characters. You're going to walk, you're going to run, you're going to complete tasks as needed as the story unfolds. For this game, you're not going to be in control of just one person the whole time. It's not someone you design either or give a name to. It's an existing character. The story is going to control who you play at what time, and it's up for you to navigate through the scene. The controls are not overly complicated. The analog stick is used for movement, and a couple of the face buttons are for the various interactions. I was glad that they have a button that lets you run a little bit, sort of speed things along when you're trying to escape. And there's also this scan function that gets you a look at your nearby environment. It's actually pretty decent sci-fi stuff, and it works well here. We get plenty of cutscenes when you're just watching something happen, and then there are going to be places where you have to press buttons in an order or quickly to try and make some sort of an event occur. The button events, as well as your dialogue options, can change the way that the story unfolds. People can die, people can get injured, etc. What's really nice about this game is that they offer you settings at the start to choose how the game is going to run. Do you want to play it more as a cinematic experience or more as a survival game? You can actually play multiplayer as well. But ultimately, these settings are supposed to determine the difficulty of the various interactions you have along the way. You can also turn on a rewind option, because the story branches throughout the whole thing. If you're at a certain branch in the story, you can actually back up and decide to move through another point to see how things unfold that way. My first playthrough, I set it on the more cinematic experience, without allowing the game to rewind. I want to get the full story without all the extra confusing, shifting plot points first. My second time through, I'm going to turn that on and see what all the options are. The graphics here, they're gorgeous, and they're focused on providing a cinematic experience, where it's the camera angles, all that good stuff. These types of games need to look movie-like, and they do a really good job of that. It feels in line with all the other Supermassive games I've played, and I really love the style. The sound is also great. In the first section, actually in most of the sections, they play modern music to start the episodes. It helps it feel like the start of a movie, I suppose, and it all works just fine. Overall, some of the things I had thoughts on, minor things really, I kind of wonder on the design of the ship you're on. This is going to sound nitpicky, but when I see a spaceship and it has extra large rooms inside it, or tons of tunnels, multiple floors of like open space, I wonder how realistic the ship would be in an actual functioning design. All that open space, it just felt wasted, and it's a vehicle that's designed to save humanity, so I guess I figured it would have been a bit more cramped with all of the space being utilized. I guess I do understand you have to make the set pieces look a certain way. Maybe that's what we have here. The game is supposed to be set in the near future as well, but I don't know what that means exactly. The tech I'm seeing here is science fiction, not something I would expect in the near future. I don't even know if 100 years you could see some of this tech, maybe, but I did question that a little bit. And as far as the characters go, most of the characters make perfect sense to me. They seem like real people, except one guy, one person. I don't know, chapter 3 or 4 or something. When all the crewmen start to get awoken, there was this one guy that was apparently the billionaire financier of the whole project. He looked like a crew member to me. He's totally physically fit. I thought he was a soldier, but nope. He's the guy that is suddenly telling everybody that I paid for everything. It just felt totally unnecessary to the story. 100% unneeded. And based on the situation that the characters were in at the moment that he dropped that information, logically, that conversation would have no sway over any of the crew members, and I'm surprised none of them turned to assault him at that point, for him being so stupid. Based on the current crew circumstances, with everything at stake, for somebody to drop that they paid money for it and act like they're still in control, just did not work for me in that one moment. It made so little sense, and it felt completely unnecessary. But still, this is a really nice, gorgeous-looking science fiction horror movie, and that's probably a minor point at best. Like the other Supermassive games, I love being able to play a horror movie like this so deeply. It's a lot of fun, and every time I know they're working on a game, I'm always eager and curious to know when the next one's coming out, because I'm going to want to play it. Here, I didn't even realize it was currently getting released. I remember looking for it back in the fall, and I said it was coming out in the spring, and then I forgot that it was coming out. And then I got a notify, next thing I know it's out, and I was elated to buy this and start playing it. So, I'm a fan. If you're interested in Supermassive games, this is a good one to pick up. Probably want to get the set. You know, everything they release I seem to be interested in. So, this is a lot of fun, and it's an enjoyable ride. So, if you're into this sort of horror type of thing, like I said, it's more cinematic than actual button mashing. You don't upgrade levels or anything like that. It might be worth your time. So that's all I have today for Directive 8020 for PC. Thank you for stopping by for a look, and I hope to catch you on another video.